This is the Bar Steward's Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
And a huge warm welcome to the Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend Podcast, where we've got the Betfair Chase meeting, we've got Ascot, we've got our three best bets each, and a terrific panel to discuss the bets tonight. We've got the Naps table leader, the Ginger Hitler. He's here with us. Good evening, Ginger.
Guten Hagen.
And we've Quentin Franks, who's been knocked off top spot courtesy of the way we calculate our results. Quentin Franks. Good evening, Quentin.
Evening, Lee.
Yeah, crack tipster. 43 points up is Quentin. A true measure of class we have on the Bar Stewards. In fact, he's holding the show up because and all that's left now is myself, Lee Keys of systembet.co.uk, and John Lang, as always, of John Joe's Blogspot. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Lee. I'm on the point of pulling up.
We've got some work. We've got some work to do on the old Naps table, but I'm hoping that we can do it. I'm confident myself this weekend, so let's hope for small mercies. Right, we'll get on straight away with the best bets. We sort of stopped doing the questions on Friday because Ginger Hitler says we're a bunch of windbags, and said we don't know what we're doing, and so I think we need to focus more on the tipping side on the Fridays, and we'll have some windbag efforts on the Sunday on the sermon. Right, we'll start off with our three best bets as we'll go around the houses, and seeing as we've not had you on the show for ages, Ginge, I'd like to know your third best bet of the weekend, please.
Oh, the third best. Right, okay. My third best bet of the weekend is Song for Someone in the 240 at Ascot. Tom Simmons won the race last year. Decent price. Buzz, I think, is really short in the betting because it's got it all to prove. The second favourite, Goshen. 2 in and out for my liking. I had it between Song for Someone and the mare of Dan Skelton's that looks like a carbon copy of Roxana. Basically, it's a right good traveller. So I was like tossing up between the two, and I came down on the side of Song for Someone.
Song for Someone, available at a rather juicy 6-1 as well. So that's that. Would you like to go 1 point win on that?
Yes, please.
So obviously, so one point win at 6-1. William Hill, Betfair, Spoil Sports, etc. Not a bad shout. First time wind up as well. So, and obviously I noted in that race, Ginge, that there was a lack of sort of Goshen will go on, but it's not his ground. And I thought Song for Someone would get a nice position early and just sit track and travel. So yeah, it's not a bad shout that if it's all in, if the wheels are all rolling the same way, you might have got a good shout there at sixes. So Song for Someone for the Ginger Hitler. 1 point at 6-1. Quentin, I'm going to come to you because again, it feels like ages since we chatted, even though it's only 2 weeks. For your third best bet of the weekend, please.
It's been far too long, Lee. My third best bet comes in the 5 o'clock at Wolverhampton, and I'm going for the James Fanshawe trained Ardina. She's about 5-2 at the moment. She comes from a race I've mentioned on the pod before, which Bear With came second in, and Meadram won out of that race. They clocked a good time there. She didn't seem to stay at Newcastle the time after it, 27th of September. Travelled well, didn't seem to get home. And then she won a really good time last time out at Wolverhampton. She drops in trip here, which I think's a positive. She didn't do a dot in front last time out. But she goes like the drop in trip will be beneficial. She's a bit free and a bit keen. So I see that as a positive. Again, another good time last time out. Mark of 59. I think she's still got upside from that. And she looks overpriced at 5-2.
Good stuff. So Aradina is the first selection of the weekend from Quentin Franks. A 1 point win bet, 5-2 generally available from what I can see at the moment. And this filly looks to be going forwards, won off a nice lowly mark last time and only just the £4 higher. So good shout there from Quentin. Horse by Helmet out of a Red Ransom mare. You like helmets, don't you, Ginge?
I've been known to, yeah.
Anyway, moving on to Aradina there. A good shout from Quentin. John, coming to you for your third best of the week.
Right, my third best of the week, and there's a little bit of a recurring theme on the three that I'm tipping today. And the first one is Tommy's Oscar, and the 115 is Haydock. I think this is no more than fairly handicapped, but I did note that it was dropped £1 for the run last time, which I thought he really ran into one. More on that later. He's consistent, unlike a few here, and I don't think dropping back a furlong and running on a flatter trap will do him any harm at all. I think he's fairly solid here, and he should run some sort of race. So I'm going with Tommy's Oscar, 115.
Okie doke. Tommy's Oscar, 115. Haydock John, 5-1 generally available. 1 point on the nose, of course. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. So 1 point on the nose. Tommy's Oscar, 115. Haydock for the. I think she's underrated. It's Anne Hamilton. Terrific strike rate, and yeah, it could be a good shout. That. Danny McMenamin in the saddle. Okay, that's your third best bet. On to mine. Bit of a boring sort of choice. 3 o'clock Haydock. Well, I'm going for a 1 point double as my third best bet, which is the 3 o'clock Haydock. I'm going for the favourite in the Betfair, a Plutard. We can discuss this race in more detail, I think, when we get onto it on the television previews. Probably better to get involved then to discuss whys and whatnots. But that's sort of around the 6-4 mark. And in the 3:35 at Haydock, to finish with Strictly a Dancer, that's 13:08. I just thought that they're absolutely rock solid. Strictly a Dancer was very lazy last time at Cheltenham. And when he got to the front, he messed around. You can see there's so much more to come. And again, he meets a very exposed sort of field. And I would be disappointed if he didn't back up that Cheltenham win, rather easily. So I think this is a real. It pays about 11-2. If you couple the pair, £10 double, £65. That's quite a shrewd Saturday play, I think. With both are really solid. Like I say, I'll go on to my Plutard reasons when we cover the Betfair chase on the TV preview in more detail. Okay, so that's our third best bets. John, I'm going to start with you for your second best bet of the weekend.
Very good. The next one is in the 12:40 at Haydock, and that is Silver Eclipse. Now, I normally avoid these type of races like the plague. Everything in here has got some sort of gear on. Cheek braces, tongue ties, blinkers, Christ knows what else. The cheek pieces are a fairly new addition to this one, so I'm allowing him a little bit of leeway here. He's had a run of just put an edge on his fitness, which I think will help. This is an extreme distance, no matter what the ground. So I think fitness will be at a premium anyway. And I think this one just has enough improvement in it. If the cheek pieces do the trick, he's got course form around here, and I think he's a very, very solid poke in this race against some iffy types, to say the least.
Okay. So you think that 7-1 is a decent price? Are you up for that at sevens?
I am.
Are you up for each way a fifth odds the 4, or are you going on the nose?
I will go each way. I can't say 4 beating him actually. So,
yeah. So Silver Eclipse for John Joe, 1 point each way. He's going at the 7-1 available with Sky Bet. and for the 4 places, 150 odds with WrestleMania in the saddle. So good luck, John, with your second best bet of the weekend. Quentin, I'll come to you for your second best bet, please.
My second best bet comes in the Phillies handicap at Lingfield, the 12.35. I thought Starry Eyes was the one to be on here. Strong pace on the cards, loads of pace on the cards. In fact, she travels well throughout her races. Last time out at Chelmsford, she ended up posted three deep with no cover, which obviously didn't suit. So I was surprised she sustained her run all the way to the line. She gets the downgrade and she races against fillies and mares only here. Previously at Lingfield, when she bolted up over course and distance, clocked a smart time. I felt she was one to follow after that race. The interesting thing about that race, she was 4 to 5 deep from 4 to 4 furlongs out. Covered a mass of extra ground and just surged clear. She's off 75 here. I'm pretty sure she's 80 plus horse. It doesn't look a deep race, to be honest. I think she's been put in 7 to 2, 4 to 1. I'd have a more 5 to 2 at top of the market. She's the one I want to be with as my second best bet.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's making a very good case there. I mean, Jane Chaplin, big favourite trainer of mine. Really good trainer. It's underrated still. It's hard to believe she's underrated, but still very underrated. And so I'm going to give you the 4 to 1. Are you on the nose for that for a 2-point win bet?
Yep, on the nose.
On the nose. 2 points win, Starry Eyes at 4 to 1. That's with William Hill for Quentin at Starry Eyes, 12.35 Lingfield. Thank you very much for that. Before I come to you, Ginge, I'll just tell you mine. 3.15 Ascot is my second best bet of the weekend, and it is Monsieur Lecoq in the handicap chase there over the minimum trip, and I'm very, very keen on this horse's chances. This horse has had his chances ruined half of his life. He's had Chester draws on board for half of it. Absolutely hopeless, that lad in the saddle. Kieran Gething's a little bit better. Wouldn't be brilliant, but he's better than old Chester. And I was very impressed with this horse last time because he would have won easily, but for absolutely tossing it off on the running, completely dossed it. Amula Gold caught him in the closing stages. He got the race in the bag. He was staring at the skies, the stands, everything, barring running forwards. And I just think if they just hang on to him that little bit longer, produce him probably later on the running rather than, like asking him to go to the front. I think that was the thing with Monsieur Lecoq. There's nothing in this race, despite before midnight, an upward progressive profile. They're all going up in the weights. They're all badly handicapped horses in this, and I do feel Monsieur Lecoq has an outstanding chance off this mark. I'd be disappointed if he's not going very, very close or winning. But I'm going on the nose for a 2-point win bet, and I'm going to have the 13 to 2 and be greedy with Bet365. So Monsieur Lecoq is my second best bet of the weekend. So, Ginge, what's your second best bet of the weekend, please?
My second best bet of the weekend is in the 2.25 at Haydock, and it's Bass Rock of Sandy Thompson's. I think it's great value at about 9 or 10 to 1, and it was really impressive last time. It had that Tommy's Oscar behind it, actually, in that race. So I think John might be giving I've got in there first. Shafted the bastard. Right, so the second has won since, the Gillian bonus horse. That won during the week. That won easy as well.
Yes.
I would have gone for Pipes because Pipe targets this race. But his horse that I quite like the look of, the Brinkley, it's an heavy ground horse, and with a ground like that. Obviously, Emmett Mullins is always a danger in this type of race. So I'm going to stick with Bass Rock and have it each way, please. A point each way. That's
a fair old case, is that? Like you said, the one it beat easily did win at Market Raiser nicely the other day. So it's 1 point each way for Ginge for his second best bet of the week. Bass Rock 8 to 1 available, and we're going to give him very reluctantly. We're going to give him 6 places with William Hill, 150 odds, six pegs. I know, some safety net that for you. Some safety nets on that. So yeah, it's a good choice, well reasoned. So thanks for that. Right, we'll go on to our best bets. Who to go to first? I'm keen to go to John first, please, for your best bet of the week.
Here we go. I'm turning with it, but aren't I?
You're joking.
I'm not.
Oh,
That's
no.
rock.
Mussolini.
Yeah, honestly. I'm absolutely sickened by this.
This, you know why this is terrible? Because you can't celebrate this win. You know whatever happens now, you know he's got it as well, and so it's the most awful feeling you can have in it.
This is it. There's going to be very little joy about 2:30 tomorrow, isn't it? I can't argue with anything he said about the horse. I mean, he did a good verdict over a solid yardstick in Tommy's Oscar. This horse will be going chasing this year, but obviously they think there's still a bit of mileage in the mark. I think it's got enough improvement in it to sort this lot out. And I'm perfectly happy to row in with this one.
Okay.
I'll have a point and a half each way, 6 pegs.
Yeah, the same. So the same terms for John. We should give John 6 places and Ginger at the 5 places. The producer's nodding at that. The producer is in agreement. So anyway, yeah. So Bass Rock for John. I mean, obviously, I love to make it a Bar Steward special, but because I'm competing against both of you two in this race, then we can't. Mine's a 2-pronged attack in this as a Dutch for my best bet of the week. It's Flight Deck of John Joe O'Neill's and the Irish Challenger, which is the Emmett Mullins Yard. Right place, right time. So I'm splitting the stakes 1.5 points on each on this race. I really think that both of these are a lot ahead of the marks. I really do. The Irish one is superbly placed. Typical Emmett Mullins. They got it off an absolute Pharma. They've had 3 runs over chasers in Ireland, been heavily bet each time. They run it short of its distance the first 2 times as if they weren't bothered. Get it beat, we're not bothered. Then last time absolutely blew in. You could honestly got so much in hand. How on earth this is 125? I think it's 145, and 5-1 is more than fair. They're even taking the 7 off with a good kid as well, so it's got no weight. And right place, right time's got to run massive. And the other one obviously is Flight Deck, the John Joe team and JP team, because this horse is disguising all his ability by just being quite lazy. That they put pieces on him, and it's funny because obviously that's I suppose it ties in with Bass Rock, in that this horse beat T's Components Lad. Bass Rock beat T's Components Lad. Might have looked easier did Bass Rock, but the thing where I side with this one is because he's lazy. He only does enough each time, so the handicap mark is preserved. Obviously the best jockey in the race in John Joe, and I just think backing those two, Bass Rock I cannot knock that bet either, but I do like my two at 5-1 for right place right time for the Emmett Mullins team, and 8-1 for Flight Deck. I think that's split the stakes 1.5 on each. Bang, we're cooking on that one. So hopefully between the 3 of us, chaps, we're going to get the winner of the 225, or we're going to look very stupid.
On the TriCast.
There's only 2 options.
Yeah. Forecast and TriCast. Yeah, absolutely. Right, we'll come to. I'll leave Quentin till last. So I'll come to you, Ginge. What's your best bet on Saturday?
My best bet is a strange one. I'm not so sure it's a good thing to win, but I think it's very much value in a race that I think looks winnable. It's Itchy Feet in the 150 at Haydock.
All right.
3-1 to beat the hype horse of Paul Nicholls, which is just a novice. Second last time out to All Mankind, which is really, really solid. Rarely gets beat as All Mankind. Give it a right good race. And the third horse in the race was the one that won the Paddy Power last week, the Midnight Shadow.
Yeah.
I think it's solid. I think there's only them two that can probably win the race, and he's 3-1. Whereas I think there should be a lot more closer in the betting. Itchy feet, 3 points win, please.
Very, very fair point. And going for the value, you make some very, very fair call. The favourite, obviously, is highly touted. It's probably one of my best novices of the season in terms of potential. But like you say, at the prices, the form's in the book with Itchy Feet a long way clear of what Brave Man's Game's achieved. And Brave Man's Game is 7-4 on. Itchy Feet is 7-2 to you, Ginge, for your 3-point nap. So good luck with that, and a good choice. Quentin, last but certainly not least, your best bet, please, on Saturday.
I was going to go with a jumper for my best bet, and then looked at the table and saw the Ginger Hitler was top, and thought, no, I best stick with the flat action.
Yeah, we can't have him on top for long, can we? It's an embarrassment. Yeah.
Hopefully this can knock him off top place. My best bet of the weekend comes in the 7 o'clock at Wolverhampton, and I feel the Marco Botti train Mollywood's the one to be with here. His first time contesting races against the elders, so he's still receiving weight for age. He looks on an upward curve. He comes here after a 6-week break. The yard have I think it's like an 18.6% strike rate, with horses running all weather handicaps after a 6-week break plus. Level stake profit is in around £100 to a £1 stake at SP. He ran flat last time out at York on soft ground. Happy to put a line through that run. Previous form at Haydock's worked out. Bandinelli, who beat him, is now rated £7 higher. And Spirit Mixer ran well from out the weights in the Old Rowley Cup. The race I thought that made him more of interest here was the one at Newcastle. He'd done something which seldom really happens around there. He made all on the round course. Looked a horse that would stay the mile 6 trip, just pulling out more all the way to the line. As I said, it's not really the thing to do on the round course at Newcastle. The form of that looks solid with the horse he beat there, Ian Jardine trained. Oh, I've lost its name. The Ian Jardine trained horse he beat there is rated £12 higher. Time was fair. At Zany's an upgrade on Dylan Hogan. And looks to be little pace in the race, so I think he'll be able to make all and boss these from the front.
Cracking analysis. Love it. Absolutely love it. A great case there made by Quentin for Mollywood. And I'm going to give him 4-1. In fact, no, I'm going to give you 5-1. Bet 365. I've just noticed it's just popped up 5-1. A pleasure. Are you 3 points on the nose, Quentin?
Yeah, 3 points win on him, please.
Absolutely. No messing with the each way rubbish. 5-1 there for Quentin Mollywood. Like I say, makes a great case. Is very difficult to make all at Newcastle on the round course, as Quentin rightly says. And an interesting form. Like I said, Bandinelli that's won at Kempton recently. That could be strong form really, and for this sort of level. So again, it's a good case. So I hope you're happy with all the selections we've come up with for our best bets. Obviously, it's sad that me, John, and Ginge have to clash with some of our bets, but I'm sure you'll decide for yourselves which you think is the best case made for a bet in the 225. Okay, what we'll do, chaps, we will look at the television races tomorrow, and we'll start off at Ascot. We'll finish with Haydock and obviously their Betfair Chase meeting. And the first one we'll look at is the 205 at Ascot. That's the Chanelle Pharma 1965 chase, where course specialist in this Dashel Drasher. That's a horse that certainly is a bit of a standing dish around here. That's currently favourite around best price of about 11-4. Anyone want to start me off in here? Well, I've had a message actually from Tree Trunk Trotman. He's now the Tizard Snout, and he says that Lost in Translation could be ready for a big run and back to former glories. He's had the nudge wink brigade telling him to bet that. So I thought that was interesting. Any thoughts on the race? Who wants to start me off looking at this?
I'll start you off. I think there's two interesting ones in here. One is Lost in Translation from a win, and the other one that's had a wind up is Defi de Soul. Now that one's kept better company than this lot of late, and I think he's pitching him at a suitably lowly level. Well, not lowly level, but lower than what he's been pitching at. To start him back, I think this could just build his confidence back up and get him back into the big league. I quite fancy this tomorrow.
So you prefer Defi de Soul and over Lost in Translation?
Yeah, I think he's quicker.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, Lost in Translation, I think for me, he kind of, I don't think he stays the 3 1/4 mile that well at all. But then
I think dropping him back so much would indicate that they're probably not that convinced that the wind's right. You know,
that's a good shout.
So while I would respect its chance and expect it to put some sort of performance up, given the message we've received from the snout, I still would rock along with the green and gold. God bless.
I mean, there's a fair bit of pace in this. We've got Dashel Drasher, Pistol Whipped. I mean, that's always been going forward recently. Master Tommy Tucker likes to go forward. So nothing will lead Dashel Drasher because that'll just absolutely just pummel off as it usually does, and I can't see anything wanting to go with that. But that should set it up nice for the ones that's ridden just a little bit quieter. Ginge, any opinion from you on this?
I'm with John with Defi de Soul, rather than Lost in Translation. Lost in Translation is a 3 miler. It was favourite for last year's Betfair Chase. It won the Betfair Chase the year before. I think they probably had a look at the Betfair Chase and thought, "Whoa, we don't like this one anymore. You know, it's a bit too hard for it." But I think any of them could possibly win, except for Lost in Translation. But I would go with Defi de Soul. The fact that it's had the wind up, it's getting £6 off the favourite. And if it comes back to its bet, I mean, 2 years ago it was 4-7 to win the Queen Mother, wasn't it? When Altior and Chacun Pour Soir both went dodgy before the race. It was an absolute shoe-in for the race. It was as big a certainty of the week, and it finished 4th behind that Politolog. And then since then, it hasn't hardly run a race, so it's obviously had problems. If it comes back, it'll win, I think. Anyway.
Fair shout. Yeah. No, I do think the race is right for a former glory to burn brightly. Quentin, any view here?
I was with John and Ginger Hitler. He kind of ran like he's just cut out and looks like the wind up will do him the world of good. He's the best of these, isn't he? If he's anywhere near back to his best, trip doesn't look an issue for me personally. He'll be the one that I'll be siding with tomorrow.
Concur what's said, really. Can't really argue with anything. Hopefully Lost in Translation won't win dreadful Tree Trunk. We can't have Tree Trunk winning any bet, can we? We need him miserable all afternoon and Stoke City getting thumped 6-0 on top. You know, we'll just sum the day up for Tree Trunk. Right, so we've gone to the 240. Yes, and getting beat up by his missus. I mean, that'll just that'd be a perfect day. So 240 is the Coral Hurdle. It's a Grade 2 event. An interesting little affair where Ginger's already said he's got one of his bets in here, Song for Someone, so we know his opinion on this. So I'll kick us off by saying that I think the ground's probably too lively for Goshen to show his best. I'm very surprised if Goshen does win tomorrow. I think they might have other things in mind for him, and I think this will be a part. He's busting for a run, and apparently I'm told he's in terrific nick. But even so, I just don't like him. I think he is a proper juice horse. Loves hot deep ground. So I'm pretty much in Ginger's camp, to be honest, because the thing is, I don't like hold-up runners here. I don't like anything dropped out, like too far at Ascot. I always think it suits horses on the pace because of its tight nature. And I do think he made a good point. He did get thrashed by Goshen at Wincanton, but that was on heavy. Good to soft ground, wind up. I think that can just sit nicely, sit handy, and I think that's probably where I go with for a bit of value. John, thoughts?
I feel a bit like Italy to me because I'm siding with Hitler once again. And I think really Song for Someone by default, really. Buzz, I couldn't go anywhere near at 6-5 with Nico riding again. I mean, he gave this an absolute brute round here before the Schweppes last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have won by 5 minutes. He ended up, I think he finished second, but God almighty, it was awful. Goshen, I've seen nothing from Goshen to suggest he even wants 2 mile, 3.5 anyway.
No.
And Goshen's overall profile since the Triumph Hurdle debacle, really, I mean, he's about as much use as Johnson's flange after the 14-hour pounding from Johnson, coke fueled. Couldn't be with that ad, and I think Song for Someone will get the ride. He's had a window. There's not a lot not to like.
Yeah, I think at the prices, I think that's the main thing. I mean, Buzz's form is obviously, it's strong form. You look at it, he was very impressive in the Sazanovic, and you've got to say that his recent hurdling form is more solid than anything else in the race. Even though Molly Ollie's Wishes won nicely at Wetherby, I don't think she's in the class personally, but. As I said, you've got Nico de Bonville, and he's gonna drop this out. He'll be settling it, and it's just, I don't know. It's not really for me at 6-5. Quentin, thoughts?
I keep my thoughts the same as when Goshen didn't run. What's it, 2 weeks ago at Wincanton?
Yeah,
place like Goshen. Like he's a soup monster. I don't think he wants this trip. Like his profile it's horrible. He smacks, like, everyone's still got the Triumph for some reason fresh in their mind, but he's not looked the same since then, has he? He won the what's it called, the Kingwell on fucking horrible ground. But
yeah, very deep.
He's just not the same horse since the Triumph place lay Chuck Goshen.
No, it's a fair shout. Can't really knock that. We'll move on to the 315. Which is the Gerard Bertrand Hurst Park Handicap Chase. Valuable, 85,000 added, 44,000 the winner. And an interesting field that obviously I'm going to sit out because I've tipped Monsieur Lecoq in the race. So I'll come to you three guys to see what your thoughts on this race were. Who wants to start me off?
I'll give it a whirl. The one I was wondering about actually was that Sully Dock, whatever the hell they call it. I think this was tipped up by a couple of parts ago last time out. And,
Fry, I think Fry's tipped this before. Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of interested in the comment from Mr. Honeyball. My theory is that he probably blew up a little last time, and I think he'll come on from that. I think he'll be fine off 3 weeks turnaround, and he does like decent ground, so we'll have a go. I think there's a few iffy types in this. I'm not entirely convinced by Monsieur Lecoq's attitude. I would have liked to go on and win that race.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it was disappointing on the road. I
take into account I'll probably ride him different tomorrow. But I think overall, I think that's a little bit of value at 10-1.
Yeah, fair shout. It's like you say, it's effective round here. Likes it round here. If you'd have let Fry out from the cellar, she would have been tipping this. I'm pretty sure she likes this horse.
He told me November. Let's not get carried away and start on that.
Well, on the road to Doncaster.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So, yeah, Sully Doc, Ginge, anything from you on this?
I'm along with Sully Doc as well.
Oh no! What's this? Are you two sat together hand in hand? Like
We're
reading?
like the axis of evil, aren't we?
He did a run last year. He did a run before it won, and it lashed up last year at this time of year at Ascot. He ran all right at the Fez, and then he won on decent ground at Punchestown as well after that. So there's definite ability there.
Gone up a lot in the weights though.
You what?
Gone up a lot in the weights for that. The punches.
Yeah, he's improving. Monsieur Lecoq just sounds like a French rent boy, basically. You're not so.
Well, we know you hate the French. I mean, we know this. I mean, there's no secret there, is there? We know you hate the French. I mean, yeah. But I mean, it's like you and John Jay. It's like Goebbels sat next to you there on the sofa. You're just all in agreement and clapping.
To be fair, I have all these down. I'll show you the evidence.
It's not countdown. You don't have to show it. You don't have to show it to Jeff Stelling. How you've spelt it.
It's not bloody countdown, is it?
I've got to be honest. I don't like running with John because you usually end up skint when you do that. So.
It's a fair point. Yeah, fair enough. Then I'll let this one go by. Yeah, so Solly Doc again, and another joint decision there from the northeast. Quentin, any thoughts on this?
I went backwards and forwards and just couldn't find it into the race. Too tough for me, so moved on to something else.
Say it out, absolutely. Yeah, if nothing good to say nothing at all. We'll move on to Haddock. For the other ITV fair, and Ginge has to sit this one out as well. He's gone for itchy feet. That's his best bet. His best bet, and rightfully so. The prices, he makes a fair case. Brave Man's Game was my top novice to follow for this season. I had a very large bet at a short price last time at Newton Abbott against crap. This is tougher. Obviously, on Itchy Feet's form level, Pay the Piper, a little bit tougher for Brave Man's Game. I couldn't entertain him at the current prices. I'd have to just watch and enjoy the race and get the old bathtub gin out and a bit of pate for this one and enjoy it. And hopefully Ginger's horse gets there, looks like it's going to win, and then dogs it on the run and gets beat and makes him incredibly sick. So that's the ideal scenario for tomorrow's race for me. Any thoughts on this one, gentlemen?
I just have to echo your thoughts there.
There's nothing be finer, would there? It takes it up and he's excited. You can see him bouncing away. And then next minute it hangs to the left, hangs to the right. And then gets beat. It's nothing finer. Quentin, for you on this?
Watching brief for later in the season. He jumped well Brave Man's Game last time out. This is deeper, but I'll still Pay the Piper a chance. But a watching brief. Brave Man's Game is probably a shade short though.
Yeah, no. So we're all in agreement. Brave Man's Game a little bit short. Watching brief. Gin and Pay, unless you're with the Ginger Hitler for his nap to follow up last week's bumper nap. He proved it on a bad weekend for the Basters last weekend. That he said we were just a set of bad tipping windbags, and he's coming back again with itchy feet to put us in our place. So 2:25 race, which is we've already tipped up. We've already touched on really on this race. Bass Rock for John. And Ginge, and for me it was a two-pronged attack with Flight Deck and Right Place, Right Time. Quentin, did you sort of have a look at this?
I did. I had a look earlier in the week. There was no flat action, so I thought, let's have a look at Haydock and see what's what. I thought it would cut up to a smaller field given the ground. I thought a few would come out, but that doesn't appear to have been the case. The one I wanted, I was quite happy to see T's Components Lad win the other day. The one I wanted was Bass Rock. I thought he's actually I played him earlier in the week and he's still a fair price. The form's worked out. The time's nothing to shout home about. but he jumps. He's got the fixed brush hurdles. He jumps. He goes on various grounds. He just looks rock solid, to be honest. Orby's Legend was the other interesting one. I'm not sure he'll stay the 3 miles. Doesn't look to be a lot of pace on, so that may help in that regard. Riggs looks short for me, and Right Place, Right Time is the other one of interest. So 3 towards the head of the market, but Bass Rock would be the one that's got my money on it.
Well, that's like Japan joining up with Italy and Germany.
I mean, this is. I feel like Pearl Harbor. I mean, it's not good for me, is it? I mean, in fact, this is it. I've got to do the klaxon. I've got to do a Bar Steward special because, the two panelists have rightly put it up as strong bets, Ginge and John. And then Quentin, he's already backed it. He's backed it with cash. He's not just sat there and gave an opinion. He's backed it. So it's a Bar Steward special. I'm advertising a Bar Steward special. I'm an idiot. And that's it. Yeah. So the compelling case is for Bass Rock this weekend. Yeah. So I feel out on a limb here. I'm there in my speedos as the tide is going out. What a sight. So we move on after that. Bar Steward special then, Bass Rock. 3 o'clock race. It's the Betfair Chase. Fantastic. I do like this race historically. We've seen some fantastic races in this over time. Cowter, Star, Bristol, Demai. Some real heartwarming national moments in this race have taken place over the years. And I don't think this field disappoints, chaps. It's a good field, is it not?
It's a good race, yeah.
I mean, obviously, I've in my 1 point bet, I've gone with a Plutard on older just for men sideburns, Henry de Bromhead. He's decided that a Plutard shall make its debut in this race, and I think it's well placed on this ground. I think. Bristol Demai and Royal Pagaille, if this had been heavy, what a race in prospect, because that would have made it even better, because that's where I think they're disadvantaged. Bristol Demai, Royal Pagaille, who's won twice here by easily, loves the course, but again on quicker ground, I cannot help but go with a Plutard because he's just probably £8 to £10 better than any of these on his day, and Henry de Bromhead declares him fit and ready for war. So, what's not to like? Can anyone follow in with that, or change, or an alternate view?
I'm with you, Lee.
Yeah,
Plutard. I couldn't make him anything bigger than 6 to 5 for this. 6 to 5, 11 to 10. He shortens up in a machine, and then all of a sudden you get a chunk of money wanting to lay him. But you've had people say, "Oh, well, he's not won on the seasonal debut," but it's not that sort of test on his seasonal debut that he's had like this. Next Destination needs a test. Royal Pagaille needs it. Soup like ground. Bristol Demai's won this on decent ground. I wouldn't rule him out, but he's now 10. At some point he's gonna just scream enough. He's been running graded races since he was 4 or 5. Waiting patiently, looks kind of artificially short with the market expecting Christian Williams to bring him back to the sparkling form when he was short prices for big races. But no, Plutard's the best of these, like you said, by £8 to £10, and 6 to 5, 11 to 10 is the right price. 7 to 4 on the machine's the wrong price. Yeah, no,
good shout, John. Thoughts?
I think you take 7 to 4 this to jump out. In all honesty, I think this will murder these.
Yeah,
I really do. For me, Bristol Demai needs soup. Well, horses down. I mean, this thing's miles faster. One I did think was an interesting one from a watching place point of view is Next Destination. I can't get my head around why he's bothering sticking the cake pieces on this. This just smacks of putting this horse straight, ready for the Hennessy.
Yeah.
Which I think it would all outstanding claims in off 153. I mean, if it runs somewhere near a Plutard, tomorrow. Its rating's going to skyrocket, really. I mean, you could see it going up £10 and going to the Hennessy well in. I'm almost tempted to even have a bit on for the Hennessy. I could see him back it up quick here and taking this to the Hennessy after this.
Interesting views. No, I've never considered that. So, John, next destination for John, interesting, but likes a Plutard. If the real Plutard turns up.
I don't see why it wouldn't either. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Bromhead as a target trainer. He's mentioned this as the target for long enough, hasn't he? You know, I mean, more or less been the target since the Gold Cup.
Well, it's 112,000 for the winner. It's it's not to be sniffed at. You're not going to get many prizes of this nature at either side of the pond. And
I mean, this is it till the King George, isn't it? Really, you know. So.
It is really, yeah. Ginge, thoughts?
I'm in with a Plutard as well. Bristol to me is an admirable horse, but yeah, if a Plutard runs to anything like it should win. I just disagree with John on the old next destination, because I think that's just a thorough stare. I don't think he's got a hope in hell of winning the Hennessy, personally.
How fair's the fucking Hennessy, like?
3 miles too. Anyway, just in last season, that next destination took on Fiddler on the Roof, and Fiddler on the Roof got a horrible ride, got chopped off about 5 times. In the end, next destination just out-battled it up the running, won by about a length. And Fiddler on the Roof is £8 better in than next destination for the Hennessy. So there's your Hennessy horse, mate. Thank you very much.
How far was the Warwick race?
Huh?
How far was the Warwick race? Was that first day?
8 miles, I think. Something like that.
3 miles. Honestly, God.
Good stuff.
You know, I'd say I hope he gets AIDS, but that'd put his sister at risk.
Oh.
Quality stuff. So I hope that clears the Betfair chase up for you. The 3:35 race is where we finish our TV previews and the show. It's flown tonight. And we've got the favourite that I've tipped, obviously Strictly a Dancer. Any thoughts, chaps? Can Strictly a Dancer get beat in this? I'll come to you, Ginge, first, because you love a good fav, like when it's solid.
I think it looks like it's improving. It's off bottom weight. I'm just like a nominal horse to beat it would be the pipe horse Ramses de Tay. Like it ran its best race of the season last year about this time of year. It stays forever. It just as a value bet against the favourite. But he's getting a lot of weight. I know that.
Yeah. Do you think though that like he probably wants it a lot softer as well?
Possibly, mate. Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I don't think I'll be backing it, but it would be a nominal bet for these races to beat the favourite.
Okay. Quentin, thoughts?
Place lay Ram's the tail. Needs
That's
it soft here, doesn't it? Needs soft, heavy ground. It's just nice to get the nominal one out the frame as well. Needs softer ground. Strictly a Dancer murders this lot. He didn't do a dot last time out. He's on an upward curve. Too good for these.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, that's it. Let's blow Ginge into oblivion there. Place lay everything. Pink button action. You don't get much pink button action these days, do you, Ginge?
Well, you, man.
No Betfair account.
All right, yeah. Well, you're being rude.
Anyway, carrying on. John, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think as well, Strictly a Dancer, because I think there's holes in the opposition. I'm not convinced Empire Stale will be as effective on this ground as he is on the proper slop. I think he's a bit of a mud monkey. So I'm fairly strong on Strictly a Dancer myself.
Yeah, so obviously looks a pretty solid favourite. So hopefully we'll all have a decent Saturday. He's a disappointment that John's Saturday is linked to Ginger's, because obviously if Ginger does well, then John's likely to do well, and so on and so on. It's disappointing for John. It's going to be a Saturday of woes, no matter what.
I'm going to be watching a film on ITV5, I think, or something like that.
Murder, She Wrote, or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this show. Me and John are back on Sunday as usual for a sermon. We're going to talk about loads of things like the whip and things, and all sorts of things that everyone wants to cancel and ban. That's the times we're living in recently, and we'll be talking about plenty. So don't miss us on Sunday for the sermon. Big thanks to Quentin tonight. Thank you, Quentin. Awesome judge.
Cheers,
Ginge. Thanks. Yep, thanks to you. Thanks to John. Thanks to everyone. We're back on Sunday, and we hope you enjoyed this show. Bye for now.
Right, the show's over, boys. Thank you very much.